Writers. Welcome to another day of poetry. You've been writing all about little treasures and other interesting objects. Like some of you are writing about scissors and pencils and TVs. And some of you are writing, you've gathered up little treasures from all around your house. And poets do that. They do often write about seashells and pine cones, and some poets have even written about safety pins. But in real life, poets are told, oh, here's a pine cone, go write a poem about it. What poets actually do is they sit back and they ask themselves a very important question. What matters to me? So today, I'm going to teach you that poets think about a big idea or a big feeling, like something that matters to them, and then they find a small moment or an image or an object that holds that big feeling. So this is something that authors do actually before they ever think at all about the words they're going to choose in their poem or how they're going to put music to their poem. This is a question they have to ask first, and I'm going to ask you to be thinking about that question too. So to get a good poem, let's try it right now. I need to get a really big idea that means something to me, or a feeling. What's a feeling that I think most of us probably relate to? A feeling that might fill all our hearts. And when I have my big strong idea or feeling, I actually think about like a picture in my mind. It like I'm thinking about being read to, you know? Like, that's something that I think gives me a big feeling. I love being read to. I love when people read aloud to me. Do any of you love to be read to? I would imagine you probably do. Okay, so I actually want you to think about that feeling, being read to. And I want you to close your eyes and try to think back to an image or a moment or maybe even an object that is related to that. So take a moment and just like close your eyes and get the feeling of someone reading to you in your mind and try to see where you are. What do you see? Who do you see? Okay. Now, I'm going to try to use what we learned the other day about having a poet's eyes and trying to describe what I see in my mind in a new way. Okay, so for me, when I think about that big feeling, I actually think about being at my grandma's house when I was really little, maybe like 4 or 5, and my grandma had this big armchair. And so sometimes on Sundays when we were visiting, Sunday was the day that the comics came out in the newspaper. And so my dad and I would climb up in this big chair and he would read the funnies to me. And I loved Charlie Brown. I loved Dagwood, and Blondie, I think was the name. But I love Snoopy. So I love Charlie Brown. So we'd always read that. And I remember like probably trying to be quiet for grandma. We would read it in whispers. And so that's my memory. And what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to see that with a poet's eyes and then use everything we've learned about rhythm and music. I'm going to try to write a poem about that. Okay. So let me show you my poem. In my grandma's house, there was a big chair. Let me start all over. In my grandma's house, there was a big chair. I'd climb up on Papa's lap. I'd sit with the funnies as he whispers the tales of Charlie Brown in my ear, and I'd giggle. Okay, did you see what I did there? Did you see how I started with the big topic of being read to, that big feeling? Then I found the small moment that came to my mind, and then I tried to look with a poet's eyes and see it in a new way. And then, of course, based on what we've learned this week, I tried to think about my line breaks a little bit and where I wanted to tell the reader to pause. In my grandma's house, there is a big chair. I climb up on Papa's lap. Do you see that? And so that's what I would love for you to do today. So I want you to think about a feeling. Now, it doesn't have to be the feeling of being read to. Now, you could try it if you want to go off today and you want to try your poem with that feeling. You absolutely may. But you might want to think of another feeling like excitement or loneliness or surprise or love. You might have other ideas in your mind. And so right now, I want you to think about a big idea. Like right now, get it in your heart. Get it up here. Okay? And I want you to start to imagine a small moment that's connected to that. Can you think about a time where you felt that? It might be recent, but it also might be a memory from a long, long time ago. And then I want you to describe that like a poet. And you're going to do some of that writing today. And again, you might write in your notebook, you might write on a computer, wherever you do your writing. But today when you go off, that's what I want you to think about is what matters to you. You poets, again, we can write about objects we find all around our house. But what poets do most often is they start by asking, what matters to me? So today, when you go off, think about a feeling of something that matters to you. Okay? Get that idea in your head, that memory in your head, and write it like a poet. And of course, if you want to do this multiple times with different ideas and feelings, that would be incredible. So you never have to limit yourself to one poem or to two poems. You can write as much as you want, but make sure you do try this at least one time. And I can't wait to hear what you've come up with, because what I've noticed so far and the friends that I've talked to this week, wow, 308, I tell you what, I believe we have a class full of students who have the souls of poets. You guys are natural poets, so I can't wait to hear what you write. All right, happy writing.